Good afternoon. Guess what? Today's Wednesday, and the last 4 Wednesdays I've had to have Harley to the vet in Standish to have blood work done to see where he's at with his diabetes. And guess what? I'm sitting in the bedroom scrolling on my phone, and Jeff comes into the kitchen and he yells, "What time were you supposed to have Harley to the vet today?" And I just went, "Oh shit." I looked up and I go, "In 3 minutes." And he's like, "You're gonna be late." No shit. So I hurried up and called the vet, and I'm like, "You guys aren't gonna believe this. I totally forgot about having to have Harley there by 1 o'clock. So is it okay if I still bring him? All he's got to do is have blood work done to just see where he's at with his sugar levels and whether he needs to have his insulin upped or backed off or leave it or however it's going to go." And she's like, "Yeah, come on in. It might take a little longer for, because we're triple booked, and so go ahead and come in and we'll go from there." And I'm like, "Okay." Well, then Jeff's like, "Well, you going to be back before I leave?" Today's Wednesday. He's got golf. And I'm like, "Oh shit, I don't know. They just told me they're triple, backed, and it's going to probably take a little bit, and I'm going to have to probably be there a little bit longer than normal." And he's like, "Well, what are you going to do?" And I said, "Well, I'll take the Cooper, because the truck is what I normally take, because it's got the thing in the back seat for the dogs." And I says, "I'll take the Cooper and just throw a blanket down in the back seat for Harley." And he's like, "Oh, okay, then that'll work, but you haven't taken the Cooper anywhere other than a little bit here in town. You're okay to drive it all the way to Standish? That's an hour away." I'm like, "Yeah, I'm okay to do it." So here we are now, headed to Standish with our little guy, Harley, to get his blood checked to see where we're at on the spectrum of him having to up his insulin or lower it or keep it the same. I got up early this morning because I don't have 4 dogs now. I have 6. I have Harley and Max. Those are my Lhasa Apsos. I got Megan and Henry. Those are my miniature dash hounds. And I got Prince and Vinny, which are Matt and Nikki's dogs, because they're on their way to Florida. And I've got their 2 Yorkies. So I will do a video later showing them. I was going to anyhow, but then I totally forgot about it because of the fact that, I didn't want to do any videos super early, and I wanted them to get a little bit used to being at the house. They've been to the house before. I've kept them there overnight and that before, but they're little shits. Vinny is super tiny. He's like palm of your hand tiny. And Prince is bigger. Prince is more like the size of Megan and Henry. But I've got 6 dogs, and it's funny because when I open the door to let them all out, I count them as they go out. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Then when I go to let them in, I have to count them as they're coming in to make sure I've got all of them coming in. Vinny, I have to keep an eye on because the gaps under the fence that the bunnies come in and out of, he could go out of. He's small enough to go out of, so I've got to keep an eye on that. But we will be probably doing something today because I don't know what Jeff's planning on eating before. I'll probably call him in an hour and see what he wants to do about dinner, since he does have golf. And he didn't think he was going to have it because we were supposed to have storms today. I mean, according to the news and on the app, it said 70% chance of thunderstorms, a high of 71, but then we haven't had no rain yet. And then plus we haven't had no storms. He even checked it when he got up, and he said that it was a 90% chance of storms. Well, for the map of Michigan, they're either going north or they're going south, because we haven't had anything here yet. And I'm not complaining. I'm glad we don't have them here. I'm tired of my dogs freaking out every time we have a lightning thunderstorm, and that's what it is chance of storms. But we're headed to Standish now to get blood work done. Hopefully this is the last time. although I said that the last 2 times. Oh, there we go. So, there was something I wanted to talk to somebody. Oh, I was talking yesterday and I was saying about the medicine that my doctor put me on to get me to quit smoking. It's called, somebody said it for me, Chantix. That was the medicine that I got put on, this is years ago, to help me quit smoking. A lot of people, I think it got taken off the market because people were having hallucinations. They started hurting themselves and suicidal tendencies, or however it went. So they obviously stopped. I haven't heard of anybody taking it now, but it was called Chantix or something like that. And that's what I was on, and I did not like the way it made me feel, so I just stopped taking them, and I just quit on my own. But that was something that was out back in the day. Just like I said, like back in the day when I was younger, they didn't have nothing for somebody. They didn't have a diagnosis of ADHD. They didn't have diagnosis of being on a spectrum. It was either you were normal or you weren't normal, and I was considered not normal, but it wasn't my fault. I mean, I did know from an early age, when I was in like pre-kindergarten or kindergarten, when we would write things down, she'd write them on the board, and we look up at them, and we're supposed to write them on. And I would do my B's backwards, I would do my D's backwards, I would do my E's backwards. So there was a lot of letters that I reversed. When I looked at them and I put them down on paper, I reversed them. And it took a long time for my brain to say, you can't reverse them. You know, that's not how it's supposed to be. Turn it back. Like, I'd start to write it, and then I'd realize, yep, you're writing it wrong, and I'd have to turn it around again. And that took a lot. That was hard for me. So I graduated high school. I just had a lot of issues. Spelling I was horrible at it. Just like I said, it's like if we had to have a test, I would study for it the day before or the day of, take that test, ace that test, take that same exact test 1 or 2 weeks later and bomb it. Because whatever comprehension or whatever I retained in my brain went right out of my brain in a short time. That's one thing I can say about these little Mini Coopers, is when you're going around bends, like here at the state park here in Bay City, the bendy roads, this little car hugs them, which I like. Makes me feel good anyhow. I feel safe. But aside of all that, the only one, my oldest son John, he had no problems in school. He did excellent grades. I mean, he graduated. He took college classes. He graduated them. I'm slowing down only because there's a boat turning in. He took college classes. He graduated. You know, he was smart. He was skilled trade at, when we both were working at Means. He was skilled trade. I was like, I worked in shipping and receiving with Deanna, but John was skilled trade. It was his drinking did him in. He lost that job. He's lost so many jobs because of drinking. But then my son Todd, who's the one that had gotten diagnosed with ADHD and was put on medication, I got to tell you about that. He was put on something called Ritalin, and Ritalin is supposed to, it calmed him down and took him under control. I mean, that's why I took him off it eventually, is because he would stay subdued, under control while he was on it, but then as soon as he was off it, it was like he was hyperactive. I took one of his pills once just to see what it would do, and it had the opposite effect on me. He would be like mummified and kicked back, laid back, you know, just mellow. Me, I was going crazy, and I thought, wow, that was like the best speeder I ever had before in my life. I mean, when I was in high school, I was eating speeders, and they had something called Black Mollies, and Oh, here now I'm telling everybody my drug history. It was caffeine concentrated. And I used to just fly through stuff. And somehow or another, it's like I don't even have to take nothing no more. I'm just like that. But if I do caffeine, and I do caffeine, I get overly wired. So I try not to. I don't do caffeine every day. I can't do that because then I'd burn myself out. But I do have a cup of coffee at least once or twice a week. And I usually limit myself to one, because if I have more than one, best be prepared to clean the entire house top to bottom, because that's what I'll do. I can't sit still. Tea, I do green tea. I like unsweetened tea. I can't do the sweetness. I can't do flavored, lemon flavored or whatever, raspberry, red raspberry or something like that. I can't do flavored tea. I like just plain unsweetened tea. I like tea bag tea. I like sun tea. And those give me a boost of extra energy that I shouldn't have. But other than that, I'm a normal person, kinda. Hi, Josie, my baby girl. Hi, Dennis, my brother-in-law. I found out yesterday when I was saying that nobody, makes comments or anything. I didn't think anybody from my immediate family, was watching my videos, and apparently they do watch my videos. They just don't comment because, of course, I make so many of them. And Josie does an exercise routine where she does watch my videos, and she says it makes her feel, because she's lived down in Florida for a while now. So at least when she sees my videos, she feels closer to home because I'm me. And she knows me. Okay. Just going to hold off for this semi-truck that I don't want to get behind or in front of. Now I'm on M13, so I'll be able to get the hour drive in quick. It's not really an hour. I mean, I'm in Bay City, so I got to go through Bay City. I'm going to come to Linwood, then past Linwood, I'm going to come to Pinconning, then past Pinconning, I'm going to come to Standish, and then once I hit the middle of Standish, then I turn on to 61, and I only go, 4 or 5 miles up 61, and then that's where I'm at. I'm doing good. I'm not even hitting 60, and I'm already in 6th gear. But I just wanted to give a normal ride-along update. I did get quite a few followers yesterday from all over. I love that people are all over. And I have a heck of a lot more people that enjoy watching my videos, enjoy hearing about my somewhat, I can't say original life, somewhat hectic life. Whoever it was that made the comment about me and Jeff, yes, I love it 3 times the charm. I got married to my first husband, who happens to be my oldest son. I got pregnant when I was 15. I had John when I was 16. I married his dad when I was 18. I divorced his dad when I was 19. So it's like, and then my second husband is Garth and Jake, my 2 younger sons' dad. And I was married to him for 10 years. I just couldn't, if I didn't get a divorce from him and leave him, I wouldn't be here right now, because I was coping by drinking. He smoked pot and drank. I didn't do drugs. I just drank, but I was drinking, like, we would stop and get a case of beer on the way home and drink that whole thing. He wouldn't have as much as me because, of course, he was getting high too. But I knew if I didn't get a divorce from him and leave him, I'd be dead. I would have been dead a long time ago. So once I left him, I met Jeff. Actually, I met Jeff before I left Chris or Garth. And yeah, his name is Garth, just like my son's name is Garth. In fact, his name is Garth Edward Kohlberg, and then we named our son Garth Edward Kohlberg II, And then after I divorced him, I took back my maiden name, which was Mahar, which is what my two older sons' names are. And Garth, when he was old enough, by then he already had Aubrey Jo, my first granddaughter, and she was Aubrey Jo Kohlberg. Garth literally went to court and legally changed his last name. He dropped the Kohlberg in the second and had his name Garth Edward Mahar. And then he took his daughter, who was, I want to say she was a toddler at the time. She was young. I don't even think she was in school yet. But he went and had her name legally changed from Aubrey Jo Kohlberg to Aubrey Jo Mahar. And then that's kind of how all my grandkids are Mahars. I mean, my oldest one's not. But the rest of them are all Mahars. And then my youngest son, Jake, he did the same thing. This car's going to pass me, so how about I just pass this truck? Jake did the same thing. As soon as he graduated high school, Jacob Carl Kohlberg. And as soon as he graduated high school, he went and legally changed his last name to Mahar. So he went from Jacob Carl Kohlberg to Jacob Carl Mahar. His diploma actually still says Kohlberg on it. He didn't get a new one made or anything like that. But he legally changed his name to Mahar. And then I met Jeff, and we both had gotten out of a divorce. Him and his wife got a divorce. He has no kids. And me and my husband got a divorce, and I had 4 kids, not all his, but so when me and him got together, neither one of us wanted to get married. That was like, no, we don't need to do that. So we were together for over 10 years before he's like, we should make this official. So we did. I mean, my name, after my accident, I got a settlement, and I paid off the house that we were living in on Bayshore, but I paid it off under the pretense my name goes on the deed with it. So it was his name and my name went on the deed to the house. We paid it off, and then when we sold that house and bought the house up north, or we bought the house up north first, then we sold the house in Bay City to move up there, and that was a story I told before too. We sold it for a lot more than we bought the house up there, so we put quite a bit of money in the house up there. We had another like $100,000 we were going to put into building a barn up there when we were told we couldn't. So then we found the house back here. We took the $100,000 that we were going to put on the barn and put it down on this house here in Bay City, where we're at now, because that had the barn. And then when we sold the house up north, we made enough money that when we paid off our house we're in now, we still had extra money. That's why we got all the new doors. We've got a new front door, sliding glass door, 2 service doors. We got a shed. We ran power out to the shed. You know, we just put it right back into the house. So I don't even know where the hell I was going at with it. But anyways, after over 10 years of us being together, he finally said we should make this official. You know, because like I would take him to the doctors. He'd have to have like a colonoscopy or something. And I was listed as next to kin, but we weren't married. So he had, you know, they'd call me, and then finally it's like, one time he said something, and then he said my wife, and I corrected him in front of people and said, I'm not your wife, we're not married. And I think it might have upset him, and I don't know why I did it, but he ended up getting me a ring, and he gave it to me the day after my oldest grandson's birthday, and then the following year we got married the day after Jeff's birthday, and he still forgets our anniversary. Still to this day. It's like we got married August 4th, the day after his birthday, so that he wouldn't forget. He still forgets. It's like we even do something for his birthday. We go out and have something to eat or something like that. It's like, you know what tomorrow is? No. And if it's like a Tuesday, you know what tomorrow is? Wednesday. You're like, no, it's our anniversary. I've been throwing it down his throat now because now we're on our 10th anniversary. We've been married for 10 years. So that means we've been together over 20-something years. So it's like I'm not letting them have a chance to forget. This is our 10th anniversary, and we're going to do something special because it's our 10th anniversary, and I'm not letting them forget it. It's a damn good thing he don't watch my videos. He'd probably have a fit about half the shit that I spew out. It's not that I'm spewing out. It's like, I think that if you're honest about real shit, real, whatever, I think that's where people relate with you when they know what's going on in your life. They know the real stuff. They don't see like, oh, look at I'm glammy. You're like, I love that one lady that does the singing in that. She's still hilarious. I watched one of her taking out the trash things the other day where someone was cutting her down. And this time she showed his first and last name and his picture and some of the posts that he has done to blast him for what he said about her. And to me, it was just like he was just someone that was jealous because, here I don't want to say she's a movie star. She's not a movie star, but she's a star. She's a singer. She sings country music. And she's going to all these different places, Biloxi, and having concerts and opening for other musicians, and so she's kind of famous. And to me, the comments that this guy was making, he was jealous. So I don't want to put on airs that I'm something that I'm not. I'm a normal person that has normal problems just like other normal people, and that's when I talk about it, to me, I'm being honest, and then people are looking at me like they can relate to me. It's like, holy shit, she's like somebody, she reminds me of my mom, or she reminds me of me, and that's why I'm like I am. I'm a normal person, and I'm going to say normal things, and I'm not, going to be fake about anything, and I think everybody kind of knows that's my thing, is I'm not fake. I don't have a perfect life, by far, by any means. I don't have perfect kids. I don't have perfect grandkids. I have a son that actually was in prison for 10 years. And then he also, at the time before he got sentenced to his prison for 10 years, he was walking his dog, and he had one of those laser pointers. He was shining it down, and his dogs were chasing after it. Those are like his kids, because he don't have kids. And he's like laser pointing it around, and a helicopter went over, and he shined it up at the helicopter. Well, lo and behold, it just happened to be a police helicopter, and it is a federal crime to shine a laser pointer at a helicopter. So before he even got into the trouble that he got into, to where he had to spend 10 years in a state prison here in Michigan, he got caught doing that. He got charges put on him, and then what the judge did is, because I think the judge was kind of pissed off about the original, what he got into trouble for, where he had to spend the 10 years, so he sentenced Todd to a year and a day in federal prison, which, if it would have just been a year, he would have had to serve maybe 2 months tops, and they had him do his state first. So when he got released from state prison, which is where he graduated college and all that good stuff, when he got released, a marshal picked him up and took him to a federal facility, and then now he's in, I want to say Pennsylvania. I'm not even positive. I know he went from a place here in Michigan to Oklahoma, which is the federal prison hub where everybody goes for processing, and then they go from there to other prisons. I think he's going to Pennsylvania. I don't know for sure. We haven't heard nothing. He's in not a good place. He was at a prison where, he was going to school. He was in college and graduated with a 4.0, mind you. So that's actually pretty good. Now he's in a prison where They have like 3 phones, and they basically told everybody those are for the white people, those are for the black people, and those are for the Mexicans. And if you get caught trying to use one of the phones, they stab your ass. So he's in a bad place now, and to the point where he always calls my son Jake. I'm not going to call you because I'm not taking the chance of any of the crap that goes down where the phones are. So he says, I probably won't call you until I get to wherever they're going to put me. And we haven't heard from him since. So, but see, like this is where I'm saying, I'm not perfect. My kids aren't perfect. Got a red light coming up. Now I already went through Linwood. Now I'm into Pinconning. That's a green light. I can keep right on going. I'm going to downshift though to at least 5th. We don't want to go speeding through this light. But anyways, so when I say that I'm a normal person, real, that's what I mean. And I think that's how people are relating with me, because they if someone was to ask me a question, I would be honest about it. I'm not going to hold back nothing. I'm not going to be fake. I'm never going to be fake. There's too many people that are fake. Too many, when you watch videos, you can tell when you're looking at them, people that are real, people that are just telling you a story to tell you a story. Get over. And, rehearsed. However you want to say that. Like, it's rehearsed. I'm not like that. I'm not going to rehearse. Sometimes I don't even know what's going to come out my mouth. My mouth hole. It's like sometimes I'll oh damn it, I'm gonna hit the last red light going out. There's Sporties. That place there, if you're ever in Michigan and you come to Pinconning, you gotta have some hot wings from Sporties. They have some of the hottest flavors ever. I mean, I think they had a thing on the wall that people can actually eat 6 wings of the hottest kind that they got. They only got a handful of people that can do it. I'm not going to try, because as much as I like hot stuff, I've made hot sauce that is like terrible, and I would not want to try their stuff that they do. You know how they have that count, that number count? It's like in the millions. I don't know what the IUE or something like that. That tells how hot a hot pepper is or something. They're in the millions. Big bump. So anyways, I've been talking, half hour. I don't want to do that. I'm going to go ahead and stop the video, and I will let everybody know how he's doing later on, and I will take some pictures of all the dogs that I'm taking care of. I'm a glutton for punishment. As much as I love animals, and I do love animals, I love all kinds of animals, to put myself in a position to be taking care of not only my 4, but 2 more, 6 dogs in my house. The only thing is I've known these dogs since they first got them. Matt and Nikki got them, so I've always been the only one that took care of their dogs, because I'm the only one their dogs like, me and Jeff. But everybody, I hope you're having a great day. It still does not look like rain, which is, I'm looking around to make sure my car's running okay. Everything seems to be okay. Hi everybody. Hi all you newbies that I've got following me. If there's something that somebody said something about pickles, wanting me to make pickles, I will, but this ain't the perfect time of year to do it yet. I'm going to wait a little bit. I usually get my hot pickles from my cousin Tom Pembroke, and I seen him. He was at the bar last night. He was shit-faced. Wow, yeah, he was shit-faced. He bought us a beer right when we were getting ready to leave, and it's like, oh man, I'm supposed to be getting home and feeding the dogs and giving Harley a shot, and you're buying me a beer. But anyways, I will come back later and tell everybody the update on the old boy back there, who seems to be riding pretty good. That's a plus. And then if anybody wants to say hi, say hi. I love hearing from new people from all over. I'm hearing from people from all over, and I love it. I absolutely love it. And thank you to the young lady who told me about the Chantix. That is what it was that I was taking. I just couldn't remember because I can't even pronounce the damn word for one. But I will talk to everybody later on.